Welcome to the Kingdom Come podcast, and on this episode we have a special guest, my father, Willie Jenkins. He's a police officer in the streets of New Orleans, and we talk through some of the problems he's had at work, some of the crazy stories, as well as how do we live for Jesus in our workspaces. We're super excited for you guys to listen. Make sure if you're listening on YouTube that you like and subscribe, and if you listen to it on audio, make sure to like and also leave a 5-star review where every comment, every time you share it, helps us reach the world for the cause of Christ. So enjoy the episode. I have the privilege of inviting my father, my dad, Daddy? Willie Jenkins. Daddy, okay. I didn't say daddy. He said daddy. I was a kid when I used to call him. I don't call him daddy anymore. That was weird.
But it's your dad, Willie Jenkins.
Yes, my dad, Willie Jenkins, man. So it's an honor and privilege to have you on. When I was talking to you, I was like, man, I wouldn't be where I'm at today if it wasn't for God placing you in my life. So I'm honored to have you, and I'm super excited. It's gonna be dope, man.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. I'm excited as well.
So it's a great day. I'm waiting for you to hit the.
Oh well, of course. Great day, fine people. Great day. Kingdom Come podcast.
So what is that? Where does that come from?
That joke went over my head. If it's a joke, I don't know what it is.
Well, it's not a joke. It's my catchphrase. Well, one of my catchphrases on my daily inspirational videos.
Oh yeah.
So when I open up, I start by saying, "Great day, fine people."
Hey.
It means a lot to me to be able to say that because God woke me up, and every time He wakes me up, I feel like it's going to be a great day.
Praise the Lord.
And then you also close with something specific.
I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Hey, that's also good.
And so what's the heart behind it? How'd you come up with that?
So God loved me so much that He gives me opportunities to do everything that I do. And one thing I need to do is love people to show God's love for me, and I'll show it to them as well. So I say that, and I mean it, and I try to say it with emphasis every time so that people can feel it through the screen. So I love you, and they can't do anything about me loving them. So that's
dude, that's good.
No, I think that's good, and I think it's something so simple, but still something that needs to be heard so often.
Yeah.
Because love is just such a word that's so thrown around nowadays that loving from the perspective of Christ is very weighty. And I feel like sometimes we may forget like what that genuinely means to be able to love someone. I was reading the Bible with one of my partners, and we read Turn the Other Cheek, right? And then I was like, why'd you laugh? It's not that kind of cheek. Anyways, but
we're talking to you, Derrick. We never know.
That is true. No, that is true.
Not exposing on the pod. Anyways, so Turn the Other Cheek, right? This has nothing to do with twerking. So with Turn the Other Cheek, people thought, I used to think when I was a kid, what did you think it meant when you were a kid?
Getting hit in the face.
Like but if you were to turn the other cheek, how would you? What would you think that mean for you to do?
Turn the other one.
Like to ignore them, right?
Let them punch me on the other side.
See, I didn't know that. I thought when I was a kid, when they said turn the other cheek, I thought that means if somebody slaps you, then you just move on, be the bigger person.
Oh,
but Christ tells us different in the scriptures.
Yeah,
right. He tells us that if somebody slaps you on your left cheek, then you got to let them slap you on the right cheek. You know,
you can't say this without laughing.
No, but it's real because that is what Christ-like love is. You know, for Christ to be able to die for us, even though through our actions we reject him, even though the people that killed him, he still died for. That is that Christ type of love. And so I feel like that's an awesome opportunity. People need to hear that. And I think that that's what draws people to Christ
for sure.
The most is being able to have an opportunity or to experience someone that has a never-ending source of love.
Yeah, and then you're a New Orleans police officer. Yes. So you start your day with a little devotional video, and then you go onto the field. You're doing these things. Man, let's just open up. What is one of the craziest things you've ever encountered on the streets of New Orleans as a cop?
Right.
Like, I could only imagine there's an endless list.
But I'll say this. Like you said, it's an endless list. But a lot of times, seeing the less fortunate people who are like homeless and sometimes maybe don't have to be, but they just do whatever they want. And it's when you go to try to approach them. So there one lady, I forget her name. She used to hang out on Canal Street all the time. Nobody would ever arrest her. She trespassed, sit in front of people's business doors. But when you went to try to arrest her, on cue, she just go right there and just go to the bathroom right there.
Oh Lord!
And
in the middle of the street,
wherever she was, she'd be in the French Quarter anywhere. And then, of course, it's like what do I do with this?
Yeah.
So
because you don't want to put that in your car, because then you got to clean it, huh?
yes. So it was, but
it was the cheat code. I hope these criminals in New Orleans are watching.
I hope no criminals are listening to this podcast.
But it was difficult because you had to try to address the issue.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, we had a homeless assistance program, and we had EMS would come sometimes. But man, it was to see that. It was the first couple of times. It was like, oh, but then you knew that it was going to be the situation.
Yeah, you knew it was coming.
Yeah,
man.
And so, how do you find that? Because man, you're a man of God, and I think I also wanted to open with. So, are you a pastor?
No, I'm not a pastor.
You're not a pastor, and I think that is so.
He's awesome. Your dad. Why'd you ask that question?
Because people would because I'm getting to a point.
Okay,
I'm getting to
Go
a
to
point.
Your point. Go
that
to your point.
People oftentimes assume for you to be a man of God that you have to be a pastor of some sort. Or oftentimes that's like synonymous. And I remember as I was talking to my dad and preparing for the podcast, I was like, I'm so excited to have your perspective as being a man of God in the workspace. Yeah. Because I crunched some numbers, and 0.2% of like professing Christians are pastors. So 99.8% of people who claim to be a Christian are in the workplace.
Did ChatGPT give you that?
No. Actually, I looked it up and I crunched the numbers. But I was like, I think that's so good, and we need to like have, because we have pastors on all the time.
For sure.
You know, we just had a pastor on just now. Yeah. But I think it's something beautiful about finding somebody who loves Jesus, but is just a regular guy just in the workplace and doesn't do ministry full time with their lives, but you still do ministry full time with your life. And so how does that actually transpire through your work?
So one thing I've learned over my time being in the church, working with people and everything, it takes a special person to be a pastor, because being a pastor is not just preaching. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people get that lost. They think because a person preaches, they're a pastor. The responsibilities of that church and of that community that you serve is so great. And not everybody can withstand it, because everybody's bringing you their problems. Right? Yeah. And if you have your own problems that you're dealing with and you can't navigate that, it's going to be difficult. So I make sure to do the one thing that God told me to do, and that's try to kingdom build, right? Because I can do that. I can talk to you. I can tell you how good God's been to me, and I can tell you where to go to find things that can help you. The other stuff, I'm not so good at, right? I'm not going to be able to make sure every door's locked all the time, make sure all of the people's needs are met. I just don't have that part, because I have everything else that's going on around me. So that's why I say God calls certain people to do certain things, and to be a pastor is a special calling. Yeah. And I think a lot of times people don't fully understand what that means when they try to take on that role. So they'll go and apply to be the pastor of a church. But if they get it and God didn't put them there, then it's a big, like a hard process for them to deal with, and then they end up leaving and
just put a big weight on somebody who can't carry it.
Right. Yeah.
That's so good. And I love how Pastor David actually has kind of shown me that. And I think that that's so beautiful, because I kind of always had that desire to be a pastor because I wanted to preach. I thought preaching was the thing to do. It's fun. I get to be on stage performing. You know, like you said earlier, like I love to perform, right? And so I love being in those spaces. But when I meet Pastor David and I'm like, whoa, this guy's different. Like, he's not even, like, preaching isn't the center of who he is and what he does, but he loves people so well. And I always say that, man, he's one of the first people I ever met that made the desire to be a pastor intimidating. Because now that I've seen how well he loves people, it's like, oh, now that I've seen it, I know what I have to do now. Yeah. Am I willing to, do I have the capacity, and am I willing to love people as intentionally as he does on a consistent basis? Yeah. And that can be really intimidating.
Yeah. So I guess why is loving people as Christ loves you? Why is this so important to you? Is there like a time in your life that you can go back to that, man, like God really started implementing that into your heart?
So as a kid, right, growing up, I grew up in the Magnolia Projects, and we saw a lot of things happen. And my mom used to, and she made us go to church, and we didn't fully understand it. But when you're in the church, and then the church starts to become a part of you, and you see people like genuinely loving each other just because you're my brother and sister in Christ. And when you walk out of the church and you see people who don't get that, but then my mom would be the one, go knock on everybody's door and tell them we're going to church in the morning. And
She'd send you out to do that?
Yes. Me and my brother, we go and tell everybody, and we wouldn't tell the kids, we tell the parents. My mom said have this person ready to go to church in the morning. And Sunday morning, everybody be up. Some of them be mad, some of them wouldn't be. But fast forward to now, our church is still there, the same church. And when things happen in the neighborhood, like somebody passes, somebody wants to get married, everybody wants to come to that church to have those services. Mm-hmm. And over time, I've grown to see how much people love that, and they just gravitate to my mom. And that just makes me feel like my impact on the world needs to be that, just like that. If I show everybody how much I can love you, whether you're my family or not, I think they'll show it to somebody else. And that's the only way that we're going to get through this life, because so many challenges from the enemy. Yeah, he's making life seem to be so easy for you to do the wrong thing. And I just want to show you that love can help you do the right thing.
Yeah. How do you show people that on a day-to-day basis, like, as being a police officer? Because I feel like a lot of times, like, if I think of a police officer, loving is not something that I would ever have pop into my mind. And I'm sure it's like, there's going to be things that, like, if you look at it on paper, like, obviously it's not love. But how do you implement love in Christ into a job that there's a tension there?
So the first thing is empathy, right? You have to go with the mindset of being open to try to understand what got us here. So the first thing I used to tell my officers in the morning at roll call was, remember to treat everybody as you would want your family member treated. Because when you go to a call, somebody, if I'll say 85% of the time, somebody's having one of the worst incidents of their life. Could be a crisis of a mental health issue, could be a domestic violence, whatever it is, they're calling because they need you. And don't go with the mindset, let me hurry up and get this over. Try to figure out what's going to be the best outcome for everybody. Somebody may have to go to jail, right? And that's a part of the job. But our biggest part is trying to be empathetic to the person that we're dealing with. And I try to make sure that people are empathetic with the police officer, because most of the time I'm going call to call to call. So I'm getting all these highs and lows all day. I'm still a person. I still have issues that I have to deal with on my own, dealing with your issues, dealing with the next person's issues, but being empathetic. And I think when you show that first, the people that you're dealing with on that call kind of gives it back to you. Mm-hmm. So being mindful that you're going to deal with someone else's personality. Yeah. So it helps you get through the day.
Is there ever like is there ever like a tension that you have to face with, believing in Christ and believing in grace, but then somebody breaks the law and they, like you said, they have to go to jail? Is it ever difficult to like manage that tension between wanting to extend grace? So it's like, man, you've seen these people on a lot of times their worst days, and like wanting grace to be in the picture, but you still have a job to do.
So for me, no, I don't. I'm going to always step out on faith, knowing that I'm going to deal with this the right way, because I really feel like God called me to do this job. And I think that showing the grace first, we've had calls where it's just hot. Like you get there and everything it's just chaotic. So you can't walk in with a grace mentality at that moment. Yeah. It's just not possible. So you have to deal with whatever that
the problem
impact issue is. But as everything starts to go down and the levels start to drop, then you start thinking about what happened. And that's where my grace always kicks in, is that I want to make sure that this person didn't feel as though, look, I had to be this way, I had to do this, and this is why. I want to hear that. No, you probably still going to jail. Yeah, because you did what you did, but I still want to hear it, because I think if you get it out, you can understand why you did what you did and why we're taking the actions that we're taking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're talking about, like, man, you go into every situation and try to have empathy, because it's like, I mean, if everyone operated in life with true empathy, we would have a lot more grace when people do stupid stuff. Yeah. And that's something I feel like the Lord's been teaching me a lot, is it's easy to judge. It's hard to have empathy.
Absolutely.
And like, I could only imagine in a job where you said you see everybody at quite possibly the worst moment of their entire life, and you are challenged with having to have empathy on them while they're probably being relatively hostile towards you.
Yes.
And like, cause you were talking about like the weight of pastoring, bro, that's a weight right there. And it's like, cause you're going worst problem to worst problem to worst problem to worst problem to your home. And it's like, how do you not carry what you see all day into your home? Or I'm sure it's been like attention. And then also, how do you not become numb to what's going on? Because once you're numb, you can't have empathy either.
Right. That's good.
So first part is how do you not carry it home? I can't say that I didn't.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm just blessed to have a partner who's understanding. And a lot of times things didn't always go the way they should have.
Shout out my mom. Man.
Yes.
Yep.
Shout out my wife, Tanya Jenkins. She's like the absolute greatest, man, when it came to that. And to my kids, too, because sometimes I was...
Thank you. I've been waiting for my flowers, so I'm just happy I got them. Praise
Man.
God.
I wasn't always present, right?
Yeah.
And I let the job take a lot of their time. But, you know, but as far as the... what was the other part you said?
How do you not become numb to like... Not like the empathy and just going problem to problem to problem is just a job. It's not a person's problem.
It's a conscious decision you have to make. You have to unplug. And, you know, I tell people this all the time. They crack jokes about me and my wife taking vacations. You have to unplug from it.
Yeah.
You do, because you have to detach yourself. Because if you don't, like you said, you become numb and you can't be effective. Mm-hmm. And my heartfelt, honest answer to why people ask me, what do I want from this career? I actually want to leave the New Orleans Police Department better than when I found it.
Wow.
And that doesn't mean it was bad. It's just that I want my mark to be something that people can say, he did a great job of helping us get to this point.
Yeah.
And that's what my honest answer to that question would ever be.
Yeah. No, that's fire. I don't know if you can even answer this question, because I don't know if it would get you in trouble. So if it does, I'll cut this out. But has there ever been like a moment like in working where your flesh got the best of you and you lashed out, you had anger towards somebody that you shouldn't have, like on the job, where it's like, man, like you look back and you're like, I did not represent Christ well there. And it's like kind of like something you look back at with regret.
I don't think it was ever a situation where I lashed out at somebody, but I may have said some things in a setting. And actually, I remember one time, I don't remember exactly what I said, but it was we were having a rash of auto burglaries. And I was really upset because it was a lot of juvenile offenders that was happening. And some things were going on, and I said something, and one of my officers said to me, and this was in a public setting, in our roll call, and he said, always remember that's somebody's baby. Wow. And that like, it shocked me to hear him having to say that to me. And I apologized to everybody. And I don't think I said anything that shouldn't have been said.
You probably didn't lie. It was probably true.
Yeah, but I think the reason why he told it to me because it was out of my character.
Yeah.
Because I listen, and I don't know, I can't say that I'm always successful, but I always try to show everyone the positive side of me and the positive side of everything that we're doing. Because I always look at it, God gives us the ability to decide whether we're going to be positive or negative in any given situation. Mm-hmm. So, and I think I let the negative side of me show at that particular moment. And I'm glad he was there, and I'm glad I had sense enough to listen to what he was saying.
Yeah. When he said that, was there like a moment where you got like defensive a little bit of like, man, what you talk, or was it like you knew you were wrong and so you actually received what he had to say?
Nah, I got defensive. Although I know, so I don't think you ever want to be wrong.
No, for sure.
And I'm no different than anyone else with that. So.
Yeah, and that's why I asked it, because I feel like a lot of times, like when somebody corrects us, our first response, especially when your wife, I don't know if this is you, but I think most men can agree that when your wife corrects you, like there's just something in you
that you mama,
get, that you get defensive.
I can publicly say yes, that is the answer. But again, God has been leading me to be better, and because the easiest thing to do is say, well, we just talked about this and you did the same, but
But it's like, I mean, what they said probably has some truth to it. And so you have to have an introspective view of yourself. Like, man, look, it's not about what they do wrong. It's about what I just did wrong.
Right.
And I gotta be willing to take correction, because if we're unwilling to take correction, we'll never grow into who we're actually called to be. So I was just curious on that one. That's really good.
Now that's dope. And I love like the self-awareness that you're able to have within it. And like, it's been dope, like watching you grow over the years. And like you said, like be able to manage it better and stuff like that. Because I mean, we've talked, and even as a child, I cracked the joke before, and I was like, "Oh, my daddy ain't raised me," right? And I said that, and like that's little. It was partially a joke, but there was some truth to it, and how I felt that because my dad worked so much, I didn't get to like see him, and I felt like my mom was the one who was doing all the heavy lifting when it came to like raising us. But I love how you've been able to like see that and then fight to correct it. You know what I'm saying? I think that that's sometimes hard for us to do as men, is to be able to step outside of ourselves, see the areas we lack, be accountable to that, and then walk in that process to grow.
How did it feel hearing something like that from him?
It's fine now.
But in the moment, like, how'd that feel? Because it's like, you knew what you were doing. You're like, I'm providing for this family. I'm doing these things. I'm doing my best. And then you hear the kid you're raising say something outlandish.
So I'll tell you, I think the feeling was magnified at the point that it happened. Because, so with my job, everybody finds the littlest thing that somebody says or does, and they magnify it. So we were on a plane going somewhere, and there was some other police officers on there, and he made the statement. So
you said that on a plane in front of a bunch of people?
Yeah.
Bro, you crazy.
He was
like 5, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah,
He was like 5.
I was
a teenager, like just acting out, like
you ain't my daddy. The bunch of police officers turned around, and to this day they still say, they're like, "Whoa, you ain't raised your kids." And to this day, one of the guys still remembers that, and he walked up, "You raising them kids yet?" And
that's funny.
At the time it was like, man,
shut up.
But it made me realize, I need to be more present. So
yeah, another thing that might get you defensive in the moment, but can lead to good. Because I mean, that's something I'm thinking about. It's like one thing kids don't have is empathy.
Yes,
they don't. Like that's just something that like you do develop throughout the
right.
I feel like every single like year I'm growing in empathy. It's like the most obvious thing I grow in, and it's like my fear is like Leo and Luke just seeing my faults when I grow up, and because it's like I remember. Like in high school and college, I would see like specifically my dad's faults. But now the older I'm getting, I'm like, yeah, there's faults there. But also it's like, man, he did his best to provide. He did his best to really put the family in the best position he could. And it's something that like, I mean, I could imagine would hurt to hear.
Yeah, great. Yeah, just immaturity.
But I mean, like, especially from your position. So this is a story I've heard from his perspective. I don't know if we want to go this route now. But I mean, Derrick talks all the time about how like you're not his biological father, but you stepped in where a man was not, like somebody left, and you went to his mom, had a relationship, and became his father. And so it's like where there was a hole, you saw that hole, and that wasn't something that scared you. That wasn't something you ran from. You embraced the woman you love while also loving her children as if they were yours. So like going back to that moment, like, why were you not afraid of that? Or were you afraid of that? And like, what made you decide to really press into something that was hard but worth it?
So I had a stepdad and taught me a lot. Like my biological father was around. He had some challenges, but I had both aspects. And my stepdad was killed. And, it was a thing that it never dawned on me that this should be something difficult to do. When I met his mom and I decided I wanted to have a relationship with her, and she said, I have a kid. And I was like, okay,
like you thought you were going to scare me?
Yeah, like, but it wasn't, for her, it wasn't a thing that I had to be responsible for. Her child was her child at the time, and she never made it a thing. Like I see today, people saying so much, oh, if I have a kid, we're a package deal. Like, she didn't let me meet Derrick until we decided we were going to become official. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't a thing that
Once y'all were serious.
it was. Yeah, you're not gonna just be in my kid's life. If this doesn't work out, I don't want him to be detached from somebody else.
Yeah.
But then after meeting him as a kid, the way he is now, is the exact way that he was a kid. You couldn't help but love this dude, man. It was just funny watching him grow, and then to see him take on some of my characteristics. That was amazing to me watching, and I don't know, Austin, to give you the right answer. It just was. I think God let it be the way it was supposed to be, and I don't think neither he or I would change the way that it went. At least I wouldn't.
Not at all. I still crack a joke today. I mess with my mom all the time. Be like, I want you to know he got with you so that he could raise me. Like he wanted to raise me, and that's why he married you. You know what I mean? Like I was because it was so seamless. Like it's just. But people even tell us, they be like, "Oh, y'all look alike."
Yeah, I know. I remember. I think we said that on one of the early pods.
Yeah.
And your mom texted me, "They do not look alike." Stop saying that.
It was funny. I had him with me one day. Like this is before we were married. I went to go get a brake tag in my car, and he's with me in the back seat. And the lady said, "Oh, your son, he looks just like you." I'm like,
he ain't even mine.
I said, "Thank you, I guess." And I looked at Derrick, and Derrick was just sitting there like,
how old was like?
Had to be like 4.
Okay, so how old were you when y'all got married?
When we got married, I think Derrick had 5. To be
4.
No,
I was 4 and some
4.
change.
4 getting ready to turn 5.
Yeah.
Because Lawrence came a year later, and Derrick was 6 when Lawrence came. So.
Okay.
I thought you were about to tell a story when they thought we were brothers, and you
No
was
way.
just like,
somebody thought y'all was brothers.
Yeah, we went.
They was reaching.
We went. Walmart?
Yeah,
I was buying. What was I buying?
I don't even remember.
I was buying a video game.
Okay, that's what it was.
And they said, "Oh, that's nice. You buying your brother a video game."
I was like, "What? That is my dad. What you talking about?"
Hey man, shout out to God for making me look so young.
Hey, look, I ain't mad at you, man.
I mean, how old are you?
49. Be 50 in January.
Man, why you say dang like that? No. You gonna feel my mom while she lives? No,
But nah, man. So
you act like you old or something. You not old.
Nah, you look good, man. You look. I look like you. That's what I get told. Hey, man.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
But nah, man, that's real. And so it's dope. Like just seeing that, and I think it's been such a amazing view of like God's love, you know. And I think that is just so incredible. How, your mom. She didn't have to choose to love you. Like she kind of just loved you just out the gate because she had you.
I thought you said she has to choose to love you. I was like, dang, bro.
Like she doesn't. She doesn't. Like it's natural. But like for you to choose to love me, even though, like I said, I wasn't yours. You know what I'm saying? I think that's like beautiful in that opportunity that God's love reflects to us in that way, that we are adopted sons and daughters to God. And that, like, I am your adopted son. And, like, it's crazy how I'm able to see God's love through how you love me, my brother, my mom, and how that translates so well, like, biblically to how God is able to love us as his own as well. And I think that's, like, really, really beautiful.
Yeah. No, that's good. Because, I mean, that's you've helped lead a family in that regard as well, where, like, I mean, an outsider who does not know the details would not know that he's not your son. They would not know that Derrick is a half brother with Lawrence. Like that's not like no, that you're his dad and he's his brother. Like I mean, that part.
And it's like doesn't cross our mind. His name is on a birth certificate. So
wait, really? You could do that?
Yeah. You just the adoption,
some whiteout, like
the adoption. We went through the adoption. So it is a funny story. So we went out to dinner one night. Me, Tanya, Lawrence, and Derrick. And the people came. You know how you put your name down on the list?
Yeah.
And people came and said, Jenkins, party of 4. And at this time, his name wasn't Jenkins yet. I think you were 8.
Huh? Oh,
eight or 9, something like that.
No, I was like 3rd grade, so I don't know what age that is. But
I think 8.
Grade. Okay.
So he looked at me and he was like, why isn't my name Jenkins? And I looked back at him and I said, that's what you want? He said, yeah. Turned to Tanya and I said, let's get it done. And then, like maybe a month later.
She was on board with it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing was,
I was like, everybody else is Jenkins and not me.
This is Jenkins party of 3 and me.
The thing was, I was never going to push him for that. I just wanted the way that I lived life and treated him. If that's what he ever wanted, then that's what it would be. But it wasn't going to be that he was treated differently because his name wasn't Jenkins. So,
Yeah.
And Yeah, that's how that went.
Yeah.
It is crazy. Derrick Jenkins, it just like it's flows smooth. Like I don't know, it's just
What
crazy.
was it before?
Clayton.
Clayton.
Yeah. I don't like it.
No, man. Shout out to the Clayton.
Hey, man,
they were
bro.
they were a big part of
My
that
family,
they were
so
a big
awesome,
part
bro.
of
They are
that
so
village.
awesome.
They
Praise
really
the
were.
Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They allowed him to still be part of their family, and like it got us a break sometimes. I don't know. Derrick was a lot sometimes when he was a kid. Needed a break.
When he was a kid.
What you trying? What you
mean?
What you trying
He's
to
a
say?
lot. Period. I don't know
Wow,
how
that's
Kalen does
crazy.
it. I lived with him for 2 years, and I had to put him in a chokehold to put him in his place.
That's right, man.
Okay. Oh, so that's
You've heard that story, huh? When I choked him out.
That's not
I
what
heard
happened.
I heard that happened, but I didn't hear the story.
That's not-
how's that not what happened?
That's you didn't choke me out.
Where were you?
You had me in a headlock, and I allowed you to do that.
You just laid there
I just didn't know what to do. So
like a dead fish.
and this but this goes to
What happened? You were shocked that Austin was doing that?
that's really what it was. Like because of the way that y'all raised us and y'all raised us so intentionally with love. Like I know people say like siblings fight.
Yeah.
That was never a
You and
thing.
Lawrence never fought?
They couldn't.
That
What, you put him in handcuffs?
okay, handcuffs is
They would have to
crazy.
fight me or his mom. Like it. That's the way I was born. You don't fight family.
Yeah.
You fight for family. So
One time my mom brought me and my brother to juvenile just to show us around.
yeah,
I'm so serious.
Y'all scared
Because we
straight?
argued. Like
Scared straight
it's like-
thing is crazy.
Yeah, like Addison still thinks it was the worst experience of his life. I was asking the cop to put handcuffs on me.
Of course you were.
Austin.
Of course you were.
There's so much I don't know about you. Man.
No.
But no, that's what. So it took me it threw me for a loop when like you put me in a headlock. I was like, whoa, Lawrence and I have never. We've had one time that Lawrence has been upset with me, and that was when
Oh
I
my
used his
God.
toothbrush.
Yeah.
Like,
You dirty.
and I had COVID at the time, and that was when we were scared of COVID, and I used it. It was
Well,
crazy.
that's when we were scared of it.
When we were scared of COVID, yeah, I used his toothbrush. Lawrence was so upset.
I don't even remember like why exactly it happened.
I don't know. I probably wasn't letting you sleep or something.
Yeah, no, it was
You
like I think
invited
it was
somebody into the room and Austin
Yeah,
was
no,
doing
it,
something.
it was like too many days in a row of him waking me up and like flipping the lights on while I'm sleeping to play video games. I'm like, this dude.
Right. At one time, he was taking Benadryl, and we just kept him up.
Bro, I took 2 Benadryl because like my allergies were going crazy. I fell asleep for like an hour. I'm in deep sleep. He rolls in with like 4 other dudes, flips the lights on, and starts playing games. Every time I'd fall asleep, they slap me in the face, grab my ankle, and pull me off the bed. And this is not the day that I put him in a headlock because that day I was basically high on Benadryl.
Right,
like
right.
I was out of it,
That was
and
hilarious
they were just
for
doing
me.
that. And then like I think it was a couple days later though, like you kept doing something, and I was like, I'm done. And I put him in a headlock and said some very nice affirmations in his ear.
Yeah.
about
You're
how
like,
much
you're
I
a man
really
of
love you.
God. I really love being your roommate
I
so much.
freaking love you.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
Wow.
And then Derrick was like, I don't want to be his friend anymore. And
I was
then-
like, cause I felt in my spirit, like I felt so betrayed.
Yeah.
And I remember I talked to Cole about. I was like, Cole,
and I
how
think
could
Cole
somebody?
called you a very nice word as well.
No, yeah, well, yeah. Cole was like, "What you doing? Like, why are you whining about that?" And I was like, for me, I felt so betrayed because I had never experienced any type of conflict or altercation like that with someone that I love dearly. And I was like, how can he call me his friend and then do that to me? How could he be willing to hurt me? And I felt so betrayed. But then it became an opportunity for us to grow like deeper in our like, friendship with one another. But it definitely, that's why you got the best of me. I want you to know that. And I want to go on record.
I'd beat him up right now.
I didn't fight back.
I
didn't fight back.
Yeah, you didn't.
I didn't fight back.
But that
y'all
doesn't
should
mean
have
anything.
A Charleston White. I think y'all should have a Charleston White.
Dude, I would love to box. Let's go.
We could do that. That would
Yo,
be dope. For the next live episode, we get some boxing gloves and we're just gonna do it. That'd be dope. Sell tickets.
I'm
We go sell $5 a pop.
gonna say that I was joking. I don't think y'all should do it.
Who you think will win? Why are you doing? What do you mean? I'm your son.
What I was about to say was, I think God has
says
shined the
Austin.
perfect light on the situation to bring more people to Christ.
Praise the Lord. Wow, that's so good. That's so
What he
good.
meant to say is Austin's gonna whoop you.
Crazy, sound crazy. Anyways, but kind of, I love that kind of segue. Like bring more people to Christ. And so, speaking of bringing people to Christ, like you said, you're not a pastor, right? You're not a pastor. You don't preach on a weekly basis.
Sergeant.
Sergeant Willie Jenkins. You know,
He'd be name dropping you too.
Oh yeah,
Really?
if you ever
To people
if you
who
ever
don't
get in the
even
jam,
know
that's
you.
what I do. Sergeant Willie
No,
Jenkins.
don't do that. Don't do that. I'm going on record right now saying I have not allowed him to do that. So if anybody encounters my son Derrick Jenkins and he drops my name, just know.
Oh, one time we're trying to park at a Pelicans game. He just parks randomly. The lady's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "My dad's Sergeant Willie Jenkins." She goes, "Okay." He goes, "Do you know who that is?" She was like, "No idea."
But hey, Sergeant, carry his weight, man. You the man. But anyways,
if your car gets towed, I can't nothing I can do for it.
so what does it look like with sharing your faith? Because you're, like you say, you're not a pastor, but you're in the workplace, right? And you're in a workplace that's secular, that maybe a decent amount of coworkers you work around may not even be Christians. So like, how do you go about sharing your faith with the people that you work with?
Boldly.
Okay.
I have no regrets in anything I say that represents Jesus Christ. I can't, because he's always been there, always led me, and always has been my protector, my guide. So I'm never going to dim my light showing that for anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be bold and say that you don't believe, why would I not say that I do believe?
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah, if they're bold about how they don't. And I think that's beautiful, because like you said earlier, you grew up out that Magnolia, like straight out the projects. You know what I'm saying? So how did you go from like a project baby to like just someone who loves Jesus? Because that may not be the most natural or seamless of transitions. You know, people may feel like because they grew up in the projects that they have to resort to like being in like gang or selling drugs, or just not wanting to have anything to do with God, feeling like you have to get it on your own because nobody handed you anything when you were born. You know, some people are born on second base and we just trying to be in the building. You know what I'm saying? So how does one go from that circumstance or set of circumstances and then become a lifelong devoted follower of Christ?
I mean, honestly, my mom, man, she didn't give us the opportunity not to. It was required. It was demanded. Like, she made it clear that if you weren't going to church, you weren't doing anything else. And that was just flat out it. So I decided at that point, but all of us, we decided to go ahead and let's just dive in feet first and see what this church thing was. And it became a growth thing. You consistently growing, learning the Bible stories. And then when things got hard, watching her just turn to God for everything. Because I remember one time she lost her job, and they came to repossess her car. And I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't even remember her. I don't know if she remembers applying for, what do you call it when you get fired? Unemployment.
I was like, I don't know.
You've never been fired. I've been fired. I've been fired from a few jobs.
The mailman comes to the door and he has 4 unemployment checks.
Wow.
And I'm sitting there. She didn't even know it was coming.
Yeah.
But it was enough to cover a car note and all the other stuff we needed at the time.
Wow.
And all she would say is, "Well, God gonna make a way." And as a kid, you're like, "What are you talking about?"
Right. The repo man's here.
Right.
And luckily, the guy saw it, said, "Look, I got these checks. I need to cash them. I'll go make the payment." Guy was like, "All right," and drove off. So
they don't usually do that,
right? If you don't have the money right then, but and that's why I say when you hear people say God gonna provide, I know when I say it, I firmly believe it. Yeah. And I don't think a lot of people do. I think they say it as lip service. But if you're going to believe it, you have to just say it, put everything away, and just go on with your day. And that's what I do, man. And it's sometimes it's scary the way God answers prayers, because it's not always in the way you think about it.
Right.
And I make this statement to people: your blessings aren't always a tangible item. It's the abilities God gives you to go get what it is you want.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, so elaborate a little bit more on that.
What do you mean?
The last part.
So like if you have bills that need to be paid, right, and you don't have a job, there's DoorDash, there's Uber, you can cut grass, you can go around.
Why you looked at me?
Because you don't cut grass.
That's my dad? Anyways,
hey,
sorry.
Man, listen.
I mean to throw you out there, but
he could. You know,
I know how to cut grass.
Do you?
Whoa. Okay, we're not doing this. We're not doing this on the pod.
We never had that process to happen for you.
I know how to cut. I used to cut grass at Chi Alpha.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, man. Stop playing with me.
I don't know
man.
what the grass at Chi Alpha looked like, but
Not cut.
Wow, that's crazy.
Cut it 3 times in his 2 years.
Why I knew y'all was gonna try to expose me when we got on this podcast.
He's going,
I
amen.
thought you had a month. What
are we doing?
What
are we doing?
So I wanted to say this, and I don't know if Derrick remembers this, but growing up, I used to tell them because they used to always have these big dreams about doing different things, and I came up with a motto that I wanted them to live by.
Yeah, I remember.
You remember it?
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh dang! See, I was to be the best. You have to do your best.
Get the best.
To get the best.
You have to give your best.
Okay.
And I felt like if I drilled that in their heads, they'd always focus on trying to be the best that they can be. And they used to be upset with me because for their report cards, I didn't like seeing C's on their report cards. And the only reason was because they showed abilities that they didn't have to have a C.
That was before they realized I was a C student. And so they used to punish me for getting C's, and I've always been a C student.
Why are you a C
There's
student?
never been a C student.
You're definitely not a C student. You have a chemical engineering degree, bro.
That I'm not using, so I must be dumb.
No. What he would do,
When you put it like that.
this kid would get A's without studying.
Yeah.
And then when he got something lower, I'm like, you just didn't study, so that's why you got something lower. So
Yeah.
don't tell me you're a C student when you're not doing anything, you're making A's and B's. So
Yeah. And so what was the motto again? It was if you want to get the best, you got to give your best.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Like a lot of people, they're like, oh, I want this, I want that, but
Yes.
you don't be doing any work.
Right.
Like you broke and you don't have a job, but you not driving Uber, you're not driving DoorDash, you're not cutting your neighbor's grass. Like, yeah, I bet if you went and door knocked on 50 doors, you could get 5 yards to cut for $50 a piece.
I tell you what else you can get.
Go to the little rich neighborhood.
Come cut my grass. I'm
A
looking for a
little
lawn care
kid,
guy.
they had a
right
little
now.
kid, and I'm a big TikTok user.
Yeah.
And this little kid, he wanted money to pay for a camp or something he was going to. You know what he did? He went around and cleaned people's garbage cans.
That's a, yeah.
I look, you can come. I'm not cleaning the garbage can.
Right,
Yep.
right.
But I'm saying
But
that.
you'll pay that kid $10
right,
too.
right. And that's what he was charging, $10. And
Yeah.
he brought his little supplies and everything. I think he said his parents invested in, and that's what he said. My parents invested in by buying the supplies, and I went to pay them the money back, and they wouldn't take it. So I think his parents blessed him with the gift of the supplies, but he had hard work on his mind. Yeah.
Bro, my staff at Chi Alpha, they always mess with me because I'm a hustler at heart. That's my heart.
I've heard.
So I will never forget like riding around my neighborhood with a wagon with watered down detergent, selling it to people as house freshener. Like
What?
I mixed like my mom's like dish soap, like all the detergents we had. I'd mix it all together in like a little plastic water bottle after we drank the water.
Yeah.
I'd shake it up and I'd sell it for $4 a bottle.
What?
Like only a couple people bought it. Shout out the Brustlers. I know they always bought my stuff. And then they graduated to selling those things and all kinds of stuff. I mean, yeah.
You're always selling something.
Yep. The gospel right now. Wait, I'm not selling it.
He's selling it. Whoa.
Ain't no selling the guy.
Jesse Duplantis. What?
Jesse Duplantis. That's
What?
crazy.
You're
Nah.
selling the gospel.
No, that came out weird. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, God's given you the ability to do something hustle, bro.
Yeah.
So I guess like, would you consider yourself like hustler? Like, I mean, actually, right before we walked in here, you said you worked at the SPCA for 3 years
Yeah.
because you needed to do what you needed to do to pay the bills.
Man, that story is crazy. So Derrick was a kid. Tanya was pregnant. I graduated college. Well, I graduated college and couldn't find a job. NOPD had a hiring freeze. Just what I wanted to do, and I'll say that what I wanted to do wasn't available. SPCA. So it was twofold. I saw it as a way of getting myself started in law enforcement because it technically was because you wrote tickets and everything to people. But the story is like we were living in Kenner.
Kind of, bro.
We only had one car. So I got a bike, and I would ride from the back of Kenner down Veterans to Williams Boulevard, over Williams to Airline. Got on the airport shuttle bus, rode down to the library at Tulane and Loyola, got off the bus with my bike, and rode to the Ninth Ward to get to the SPCA.
Man, what?
And, you know, a lot of people don't know that, but it was a humbling story. and it let me know that once God put me where I needed to be, I wasn't going to let anything change that. So that's why the being present all the time at home wasn't the thing, because
you were hustling.
I had to get it. I had to make up for lost time. And shout out to NOPD, man. It gave me the ability to make a lot of money in a short time span, because you could work details, you could work overtime. And I did. And I got my family to where I thought we should have been. And I've been letting God lead me financially since then. So doing okay, man.
And then you joined NOPD in August or July?
No, I joined it in January, and I graduated the academy August 12th of 2005.
August 12th of 2005. So then
2 weeks later, Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, so you got in right before Katrina.
2 weeks rest.
That was one of the most challenging times of my life, man.
You had to stay in the city?
Yeah. I had to, and like everybody else, you pack up your family and tell them, hey, y'all go have a good time for a couple of days. Yeah, I didn't know when I was. You didn't know it was
gonna be a.
No, nobody did.
What were some of the things you were seeing during Katrina?
Man, it was a lot. Like, you had people sitting on rooftops. You had people looking for people, and like in one particular thing, they had people in the lower 9, because we went over to the lower 9 the night before to tell people, you got to go. It's gonna be bad. You got to go. And people did like they normally do, man. It's not gonna be bad. They had barbecue grills and everything.
Yeah.
And, it wasn't that. It was something much worse. And when you went back over, the day after, you started seeing people crossing the bridge, the ones that survived. Then you would see people that didn't.
Yeah.
It was, I never really got into a lot of it with anybody. It's been a lot over the years, man. When you talk to people who lived through it and to hear their stories and you just think about it, it was a blessing to get through it the way we did, but the rebuilding process was bad because so many people didn't know what to do, and then trying to help them not knowing what I was going to do. That was another thing. And that's why I say police officers get such bad raps for a lot of things, but people don't realize they're dealing with the same things that you're dealing with, sometimes the same situations.
Yeah.
And, they can't because they're helping you.
Yeah.
So their family has to wait.
Mm-hmm.
And,
so that you can help.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has there been like any experiences in policing that shaped like how you interact with your family? Like, does that make sense? In terms of like, man, you like things that you've seen have changed something about you, the way you operate in certain things that have kind of changed.
I think my patience level and my grace, because I give it to people on the outside because it's my job to do so. But at home, I was a lot less patient. With him and his brother, I was like, it was easy to be angry about something. But I'm like, how can I be this person with these people? And so, difficult at home. And I think changing that, like Derrick said earlier in the podcast, growing is a thing that I've been working on doing, because I realized I need to give them the best of me. Mm-hmm. And that's been a thing that I've been trying to do. So yeah, that I think patience and grace is the two things that I would say the job has taught me to do at home.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I feel like I feel like it's important that we view like our jobs and stuff like that as like callings and ministry and our form of ministry, and because it's an opportunity to be able to represent Christ. So how have you seen your job be an opportunity to be a calling for you or like a ministry for you?
Being able to be in some rooms that a lot of people aren't given the opportunity to. Mm-hmm. So like I have a friend of mine who started a nonprofit, and it's called Step Up, Aim High. Mm-hmm. And shout out to them, man. They're doing a great job in the community. Yeah. And he needed assistance with getting police to block off streets and everything. And I helped him with that process, got him connected to the right people. Then he asked me to come out and just support. So when I went out to support, he gave me the opportunity to speak. And, and in that one speech, I'll never forget the thing I told people was, every day that God wakes you up, he gives you a chance and a choice. He gives you the chance by waking you up. and then he gives you the opportunity to make that choice to whether you're going to live for him or not. And it's the decision you have to make. And I think that free will thing is it's crazy because people don't understand living for Christ is a lot easier than living in the world, because the world, it seems like a better place, but it's so simple to live for Christ. Just do the right thing. Yeah. And you, like, all of this, you think about all of the things you have to continue to do. You have to be lucky every day living in the world. You just have to live for Christ, and everything else is done. It might not be done the way you want it, but it's done. Like, your needs are met. When you live in the world, it's kind of like you have to hope that everything is going to be okay. So,
man, dude, that's good.
That's dope, because it really changes your perspective on things when you're able to view it in that light. When you view your job or your work as an opportunity, as a platform for Christ, that is a blessing in itself. And that, like I said, just because I love Jesus doesn't mean I have to be a pastor, but I can reach people that otherwise might not be reached as a high school teacher, as a football coach, as a police officer. You know, we have like unique opportunities to bring Jesus into these spaces where Jesus is not expected, because you even have different challenges as being a pastor, that people will claim to be in Christ and then not actually follow Jesus. So now we have a unique opportunity to reach people where they don't have their Jesus front up, you know what I'm saying? They're not wearing their Sunday best, and now they feel like they can just let their hair down and be themselves, and we're able to have open and honest conversations that you otherwise might not be able to get because they might know you as Pastor Austin. So a wall might immediately go up. But I think as believers, we have to use our opportunities and our relationships with people to bring Christ into these different spaces. 100%.
No, that's good. Do you have anything else you want to dive into?
I'm just so, like I said, it's just so dope. Just like being able to do this with you.
I'm definitely happy you guys had me come, man. It's been a great experience with y'all.
Yeah.
Knowing him and then meeting you over the years, it's been like great to watch y'all grow. Yeah. And what this has become, man. It's a good feeling, man, to watch y'all.
Yeah. No, I appreciate
great,
you.
Man. I remember y'all first studio. It was
it
wasn't this.
No, it was not.
That's crazy. 1.5 years, and look it out for.
Yep. But yeah, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming over here. I wish we would have been able to get you on, like, for dropping on Father's Day or something.
I know. Yeah, just
this is the honorary Father's Day episode.
Father's Day episode.
But yeah, no, I appreciate you coming over here. This was a good time. We end every episode, and I'll say, and as always, go encounter the kingdom of God. Well, I'll point at that camera and say, everywhere you go. All right? And as always, go encounter the kingdom of God everywhere you go.